Christmas. We're going to get started here just shortly. All right, everybody. Go ahead and find your seats. Misha, go ahead, grab a seat. Who do you see back there? Go ahead, put your fun glasses on too. Luis, Jasmine, go ahead, grab a seat at the table. We're going to kick this off. It's got your name all over. Good morning, online. Go ahead, turn your cameras on. We want to see your smiling Christmas faces. We got a little holiday spirit here. Rob went out and got some fun stuff. We got socks, we got candy canes, and these fantastic glasses. So, all right. Well, hey, let's kick it off with Tell Me Something Good. Oh boy, we got a lot of people online. Sorry, we're down to some support staff online, so I apologize. I'm admitting everybody and running the meeting. So I apologize if there's some delays here. Mr. Gove, Papa Gove, look at that. Yes. Who wore it best? The debate has been.
It's me.
Oh.
Hey, I have something good.
Tell me about it.
I celebrated another birthday.
Yeah. Well, he never looked so good. So, all right. Who else has something good? I know. Oh, Luis. Go ahead. Stand up and share what you got.
Well, I have my friend Jasmine here. Sorry to put you on the spot, but she just got her license on my birthday on December 3rd. So, here to meet everyone and see if this is the right fit for her. So
Awesome.
Make her feel at home here.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for coming too, Jasmine.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
I know. It's hard to tell what enjoy them.
Me, it's like they're turning on me. Hey, Jen. Oh, what do you got? Go ahead, stand up, say your name so everybody knows.
How many of you like this weather? It's cold, it's rainy. I don't like it at all. So my heart yearns for the summer and the heat. And what goes better with summer and heat than s'mores? So I brought you some little s'more snack.
Oh, too kind.
And campfires and.
Awesome. Well, thank you. All right, so
Big, huge burn house in the country right now.
burn piles, love it, Paul.
I had a closing on Tuesday.
Boom. That's the one here. How did you acquire that client? Where'd that client come from?
That client was a relative of somebody that I know. So I just correctly followed up in the sphere, made sure they knew I was in business, not being a secret agent. And, gave them enough confidence that they referred it over, one of their relatives and closed the deal. And now she's off to retirement for a pile of cash.
Beautiful, beautiful. Round of applause for a closing. I don't think there is. Where's Mr. Rodney? Is Rodney Rose online? All right, so he is not. So Micah, stand up. You get to give the lender update. What's happening in the wonderful world of lending?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Tell us who you are and what's going on. For those who don't know you.
Micah Gunter from New American Funding. I think led by Johnny. CPI data came out. Inflation is settling. Feds are backing off, raising rates a little bit. So rates got better. Went from low 7s to we're now 6-ish. So that 1% gives buyers about 10 to 11% more in purchasing power. So follow up with those clients that may have been priced out.
Awesome. Thank you, Micah. And then Ronnie just came in. So Micah gave us a little quick, like a brief market update. Do you have anything you want to add to it?
I didn't know what he said, so hard to add to something.
He just said that the Fed announced and rates are doing better. Inflation's getting under control.
Yes, exactly. And so it's kind of as I've been anticipating and saying, I think the next thing you're going to see is a sort of the good and bad scenarios is unemployment is going to go a little bit higher, which is going to give cause. Fed chairman's showing signs that he's going to stop the increase. This might have been his last increase. I don't know if he said that or not, but so I kind of like I kept saying, I'm not going to be shocked if we have interest rates in a couple of weeks entering into the 5s. We're like at 6.25-ish right now, and on a 30-year fix. So it's purchase money. So it's market's looking great.
Sweet.
Love the positivity. Love it, love it. All right. So real quick, let's go into upcoming events. Just so we're clear, it is the end of the year. So sad face, this is our last meeting until next year, right? So sad face, but we will be coming back January 5th, and I don't know if he's going to be in person or via Zoom, but Big Daddy Brent Gove is going to be presenting. So make sure you come back from the holiday festivities ready to hit the ground running, because he's going to bring the heat like he always does. It'll be January 5th is our next meeting. So make a note. If you're taking notes, write down January 5th is the next meeting. And then also happening in January, on the 26th over at PCAR, we're going to be flying out Jeff and Amanda White Spear. I believe they're in Texas, and they're going to be teaching us how to do lead generation, online lead generation. So it's free. It's fantastic. That's at PCAR. It won't be here in this building, but it'll be at PCAR. And then that brings us to the main event today, Mr. Eric Lawcombe. So everybody, please give a round of applause. Welcome to front, Mr. Eric Lawcombe.
All righty. Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Excited to be with you guys today. We're going to be talking about lead generation to give you some real practical tools so we can put more deals in the pipeline. And before we jump into lead generation, I want to give you a quick suggestion that is practically guaranteed to get you more deals next year. So who would be excited to learn an idea that's practically guaranteed to get you more deals by show of hands?
100%.
All right, so here's the idea. I'm hopeful that you're all going to create a written plan for 2023. Get that done by the end of this month. I'm doing a planning class right now. If any of you need any help on that, you can see me when we're done, or whatever process you're going to go through to get your plan in place. And then instead of writing the plan and stuffing it in a drawer somewhere, which I think what happens a lot of times when we do our goal setting, we set the goals and then we never look at them again. What do you think I want you to do with the plan? I want you to make it a part of your day, like brushing your teeth or taking a shower. And within your plan, I want you to pick 1 or 2 primary numbers that you burn into your subconscious. And so the 1 number is going to be a production number. And that could be, you might look at, think in terms of income or number of transactions or the number of millions of dollars in revenue that you want to do. Different ones if you have different ways of looking at it. So 1 production goal. And then is there anybody here that's going to be doing agent attraction next year? Anybody going to be doing agent attraction? Okay. If you're going to do agent attraction, I'd like a second agent attraction goal. And my encouragement is the size of your organization at the end of, it's like a year from now. Where's your organization? Are you going to be at 5 people, 20 people, 100 people, 1,000 people or more? Build that into your plan. So you're going to lock in on your production number and you're going to lock in on your agent attraction organization number. So as a sales trainer, my number for next year is $1 million in gross revenue. So I'm going to lock in on that number. January 1, I'm going to go out and make it happen. I'm going to have my written plan done. My deadline, self-imposed deadline, is December 31st at 11:59 p.m. So 1 minute before midnight, got to get that plan done. If I'm going to be partying that night, I better get it done earlier, or the plan's not going to come out so good after a couple cocktails. So how many of you like the idea of getting your plan written before the end of this year? You guys like that idea? Who would be up for making it a part of just your brush your teeth, taking a shower once a day, 1 to 5 minutes, reviewing your plan, just incorporating it into how you operate? Okay. And would that be an increase in focus for you versus this year?
Yeah.
You think that would get you more business? I promise you it will. Okay. So that's a little tip. We're going to get in our topic today, which is lead generation. Shout out to Mary on Zoom. I invited Mary today. She's an EXP agent. And Mary, thank you for joining me. I think it's going to really be worth your while here today. So we're going to get into some it's not,
I know.
there we go. So some practical tips. So my latest book is called Continuous Sales Improvement. And this is a mindset that we work on our sales skills for the rest of our life. So what we're doing today, we're lifting the weights on the topic called lead generation. And the way we're going to get better is we're going to work at it. And so somebody who lives continuous sales improvement is Brent. You think, well, Brent at his level, he's making the kind of money he's making. He doesn't need to work on his skills anymore. But let me ask you this. Do you think he's still working on his skills? He's probably working on his skills harder than most of us, because that's who he is and that's why he's Brent. So if we work on our skills and we apply continuous sales improvement to lead generation, so that would mean go on YouTube and do a search on YouTube under lead generation techniques. That would mean talking to your peers here and asking, what's your best lead generation strategy? That would mean finding any podcasts on lead generation. Do any of you have Audible? Audible, okay. Here's a phenomenal Audible if you want more leads. It's by a guy named Jay Abraham, and I think it's called 93 Extraordinary Referral Systems. That was a $500 course when it came out. It's 1 credit on Audible, okay? And this guy is the man, Jay Abraham. He's a really big deal in my world. So we apply continuous sales improvement to lead generation. That's your first tip. And then your next idea is to kill your current lead generation story. So here's what that means. If we went around the room and I said, tell me about your ability to generate leads. Somebody might say, I'm okay at it. Or somebody might say, yeah, I don't have very many leads. Or somebody might say, I'm phenomenal at lead generation. Just out of curiosity, is there anybody here in the room? You'd be like, I'm the man or the woman when it comes to lead generation. Is that anybody? Phenomenal at lead gen. Anybody? Okay. So if you're not phenomenal at lead gen, no problem. But what is your lead generation story? And what I want to suggest to you is you're living into your story. So if you're like, I'm okay at getting leads at open houses, you're going to live in that story. And what if you change your story into, I'm a master at generating leads at open houses? And if you change that thought in your mind, it's going to change what shows up in reality. So I want you to consider, if your lead generation story isn't supporting you, or if your prospecting story isn't supporting you, kill the story. Your technology story, your social media story. Eric, I'm not good at social media. If you have the thought, I'm not good at social media, is that going to help you get deals to the finish line? So what do I want you to do?
Kill the story.
Kill the story. Kill the story. All right. That's a very simple yet powerful idea. My definition of a lead is somebody that you can reach out to. So that really makes it broad, right? I'm not talking about it's got to be a hot lead off of Zillow or a hot lead in open. Hot leads are great. We love hot leads. But if a lead is somebody to reach out to, how easy is it to find a lead? Pretty darn easy. You could walk right out and you could prospect these people at the receptionist desk.
I've already told her. Okay, but not really. That's my plan.
My last 2 Uber drivers, one was a real estate broker and the other was a car sales manager. And those are 2 phenomenal leads for me as a sales trainer. And guess what I did with both those leads? I put them in my database. So finding a lead is like the easiest thing on planet Earth. In fact, I would challenge you and say you have over 1,000 leads on your smartphone. You've got your Facebook friends, you've got if your LinkedIn's on here, you got your Instagram, you got your text history, you got your contacts, you got your email history. I have over 5,000 leads on my smartphone. And at one of the peak meetings, one of the instructors that was, and I forget who it was, said, you have at least $5 million of pipeline sitting on your phone right now. So you're like, I don't have any leads. You have $5 million in pipeline sitting on it, which I think is an interesting mindset. And so what you can do is, look at
Very similar phones.
I just picked up Johnny's phone because we got the exact same thing going on here. All right. I was like, that's not my screensaver.
Great minds.
Okay, so this is gonna, and there's somebody trying to get in. This is gonna allow us to really have an expanded mind, because now I never have to go, well, I don't know how many leads to contact. it's impossible to not have leads to contact based on the way that I defined it. All right, next idea. From a marketing standpoint, we're playing a game of familiarity. How many people can know you as their real estate solution for life? So if I'm you, I do this in my sales training business. If I'm you in real estate, you want to create familiarity with somebody. In order to create familiarity with them, you have to stay in touch with them. So as we go into 2023, what I want in your written plan are your systems of how you're going to stay in touch with somebody to become their real estate solution for life. How are you going to get in the mind of your sphere of influence so you're their real estate solution for life? And every time I talk to you guys, I tell you the story about my last real estate agent that helped me. It was 3 years ago. And with the exception of one thing that we had a business thing on, I've heard from him this many times. That includes text, email, phone calls, direct mail. So you don't want to be that guy.
Is that 3 or 0?
Zero. It's a zero. He got at me. He made $15,000 in the deal. Awesome. And I haven't heard from him once. So that doesn't make me excited about referring him or using him again, even though he did a really nice job. As an agent, he did a really great job as an agent. But what's missing is relationship. Even though he's a great agent, what's missing is relationship. And this is a relationship business. So some things to put down in your notes. Email. You should be staying in contact with your network via email, preferably a group email. So you can send an email out to your entire database a couple times a month. I think Ricky, you guys know Ricky? Yeah. Ricky's one of the mega stars in EXP. And do you guys remember when he spoke, how many times he emails his list? Once a week. Okay. I'm talking one of the mega stars in EXP, one of the biggest players in the whole thing. He's doing a once a week email and he talks about that. And if you have everybody in a software where you can send out an email there, it's simple. Take 8 minutes. You write your email, you send it out once a week or once every other week. That's a system. I'd like that written in your plan. Okay. Consider direct mail. Maybe it's a quarterly letter letting people know how you're doing, or at least a Christmas something or other. It's up to you, but direct mail is a system. Add these folks on your social media. And when you're scrolling through on social media, if you see your client or your prospect, like always hit the like or heart button. Don't be stingy with your likes. Don't be like, does that warrant me hitting the like button? It's not a good enough post for the like button. Okay, we don't want to do that. You want to connect with them on social media. And then one of my favorites is contacting them on their real estate anniversary. Because you're going to be the only one contacting them on that date, because that date doesn't mean anything to anybody else. And they might not even remember it. But think about this. If 1 year from today, it's their real estate anniversary and you call them, like, oh yeah, thanks for remembering me. And then you call them a year later on their real estate anniversary. And then the third year you call them, when you call them, what are they, you're going to call them and you're going to say, do you know why I'm calling today? And what are they going to say?
It's my real estate anniversary.
It's my real estate anniversary. And you're going to have that little connection with them. This word right here, familiarity, that's the game. The game is familiarity, right? You want to have strategies in place. Okay. The hub of your lead generation is your database. This is one of your most important assets. You are your biggest asset. Every idea that you learn makes you more valuable. So you want to be in the learning ideas business, and you just keep getting better. But that's what my whole philosophy. I'm in the learning ideas business. I want to just keep getting better. Brent's in the learning ideas business. So your greatest asset is you. Outside of you, though, this is number one, number two, or number three. And you kind of have to have a CRM. It's really, really, really important. And I'm not going to ask who has one and who doesn't. But if you don't have one, put that in your plan and just hear from me, this guy Eric, saying it's a must, because it's much harder to play the familiarity game if you don't have a database. It's so much easier to do it with a database, and they're extremely affordable. And it gives you, when you get a lead, you just immediately get that lead, you put that lead into your database. So this is like, this idea is worth 50 transactions. If you don't have a database and you just do that one, that's worth 50 future transactions at 10 grand a deal. That's $500,000. Social media, add new people over one or more platforms. So the way I would do it is I would be adding people, especially local people, that likely either are homeowners or could become a homeowner in the future. That would be how I would use Instagram, and how I would use Facebook, is I would be using it as a lead gen strategy. And it's really easy to find people that live in Rockland or Roseville or Lincoln, because there are Facebook groups dedicated to the communities. Do you guys know about that? If you go on Facebook and you type in Rockland in the search, just like a Google search, but it's on Facebook. And one of the options, which you might not know about, is there's a groups button. So you type in Rockland, search groups, and then you'll have these groups pop up, like the yard sale group, and there'll be 11,000 members. So of the 11,000 members in the Rockland yard sale group, whatever it's called, where are those people likely going to live? They're going to be local, because if they lived in Florida, why would they be in the Rockland, California? They wouldn't. So you can go through, and there's all your people that are local. And then what you do is you add them as a friend. And some of them will accept your friend request. And then you send them a direct message. Thank you for accepting my friend request. And then what you do is you do a virtual door knock. And a virtual door knock only takes about 2 minutes. And so you just send them a message. Hey, want to introduce myself? I'm in real estate. If you ever have any real estate questions, let me know. And you can just interact with them over chat. And you do a couple of those a day. And so you can get unlimited leads in this strategy. And that's just find local groups, which I just explained, and then friends of friends. So if I go to Johnny's Facebook, if he has a Facebook and his Facebook's open where I can see his friend list, it's logical to assume that some of those friends are going to be local. And so I can go and I can add his friends as my friends if I chose to do that. And if you're doing agent attraction, who should you also be adding as Facebook friends or Instagram? Other agents. And when they accept your connection request, then you can send them a direct message. And I'll tell you guys I think the secret to agent attraction is it's inviting to events and bringing an agent to be a part of the culture so they can experience the culture, and then they can go, oh, I like this culture. So when the PCAR events are happening, the next one's what, lead gen on what's the date?
January 26th.
Okay. So for those of you doing agent attraction, I'm gonna give you a little assignment starting in January. You can do it now, but you can start in January. Is you invite 5 agents a day to that event. And it takes 2 minutes to send out an invite. So if you invite 5 a day, and it takes 2 minutes to send out an invite, how much time is that a day?
10.
10 minutes a day. What if you did 10 minutes a day? And what you do, here's the play. You invite them, they come to the event, and now you can have a totally different conversation with them. It's not in this strategy, you're not contacting them about EXP. You're contacting them about an event. Then they come to the event, they're like, oh, I really like that. And then you invite them to another event. And then you invite them to another event. And what I would do if I was you is I'd become a master inviter. I'd become a master inviter and let the system do the growth for you. And you know who is a master of this? Brent Gove. Why do you think he's doing all these events? Why do you think he does build strategically? Right? It creates an environment where people can come and have an experience and go, I like this. The energy is different here. And it is different. All right, next idea. Send direct messages over social media. So this is my favorite prospecting strategy. So I'm going to just role model this for you. And I'm going to send a message to Steve Evans, one of our agents as part of the team here. And I'm going to pretend that Steve is an agent at a non-EXP company. Hey, Steve, it's Eric. You can just like ignore this message. I'm just role playing in front of a group of agents. Hey, Steve, this is Eric Laughlin. Steve, there is an event that's happening at the PCAR location on lead generation. And if you're looking for more leads for your real estate business, it's going to be awesome. And I'm going to be there and I'd love to see you. Let me know if you'd like an invite. Okay, that's a 23-second audio message. So who could do that 5 times a day? It's a piece of cake. So you send that message and they're like, oh, wow, yeah, I want to come to that event. And now they come to the event and they're excited. It's not an EXP conversation, it's an invitation. So now if you really want to go big, what you do, what I tell Johnny to do is I'd say, Johnny, do you like the idea? He goes, yeah. So this is gamify your outreach. So the game is 5 a day. Because you go, Eric, I got to keep my eye on the ball for production because I need the income to pay my bills. I go, got it. Give me 10 minutes a day. Can you give me 10 minutes a day? And Johnny goes, yeah, I can do it. So now, Johnny, what we're going to do is you're going to give me 10 minutes a day, not me, yourself. But we're going to get 5 people on your team, if you had 5, excited about doing the same thing. So now Johnny's doing 5 a day and his 5 underneath him are doing 5 a day. So that's 6 people doing 5 a day is how many? 30 times 5 days a week is how much? 150 times 4 weeks in a month is how much? 600. You, Johnny, and 5, the math on that is 600 agents a month. If you were doing that kind of outreach, bringing them into a system, inviting them to events, would you predictably have your organization grow? What do you think?
Absolutely.
I want you to think about that. One thing I've never told you guys is I actually wrote the book called Duplication. You can look it up on Amazon. It's been a bestseller in the network marketing space for about 4 or 5 years now. And it's a whole book about the science of duplication. And so I'm sharing with you an idea that's totally different than real estate. Because in real estate, you're taught open house, how do you do the contract? How do I do this? How do I do that? MLS, etc. Agent attraction is a different conversation. It's about duplication. That's a simple system. All right, moving on. All right, we talked about this one. Your smartphone has a $5 million of pipeline on it. So you got plenty of leads right there on your smartphone. Okay, your next strategy is to be a content creator. So what's happening is people are scrolling through on their phone and they're scrolling through, and what are they looking for? They're looking for content. So my mindset is this: they might as well be watching my content. So I did a reel, and it is on Facebook, and I did it from the parking lot. So this is it right here, just right in the parking lot. Less than a minute, upload the reel, and then people are watching that. When they watch that, what are they becoming more what with me? That's the game we're playing. If you think about a billboard on Highway 80, you're driving down Highway 80, you're going at 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, and there's that billboard, and all you're going to see it for is a split second. But the person that has the billboard sees value in whatever that costs for that billboard. They're like, I value that split second. Think about that. They're paying money for the split second because they value it, because they understand the game of what? Familiarity. But a reel on Facebook or Instagram, it doesn't cost anything. And you can just make it a part of your day. And so people are scrolling, and they're scrolling and they're seeing your content and they're becoming more familiar with you. Now you can take that reel and you could put it, what I'm doing right now, the game I'm playing is 1 video a day, 1 minute or less. And it goes on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram. And it's the same video. And what I do, because I'm not a video guy, is I shoot the video on my phone and I upload it to my Google Drive. And then I have my video editor and they take it from there. So all I'm doing is 1 minute shooting a video. They put on the graphics, they upload it. It's not a really, doesn't cost a lot to do that, finding somebody to help you do that. And so now I'm doing 3 videos a day. It's the same video getting repurposed in 3 different places. That could be an interesting thing for you to consider. If you were on TikTok, Instagram, and on YouTube Shorts, 1 minute a day, you get a little video editor, you upload it to Google Drive. It goes right from my phone to Google Drive, and then I'm done. So we got video, we got posts on social media, podcasts, seminars, Zoom. This is really my world that I'm in as a trainer. But does anybody know the guy in Dallas?
Levi.
Yeah, Levi's the video guy in Dallas. So he's an EXP guy. So Levi says, you know what? I'm going to play the game of familiarity, and I'm going to create a YouTube channel. In my industry, a YouTube channel's common. I get no differentiation having a YouTube channel, but Levi gets differentiation. Why? Because he's like the only guy in Dallas that has a YouTube channel, and maybe there's another guy. It's him and one other guy. So he states he made $1 million last year in commissions off of deals just off his YouTube channel. And his differentiation was doing something common in my industry, but out of the box in your industry. And what is he? He's a content creator. That's a mindset. See, you go, well, I'm a real estate agent. That's a hat you wear. But I want to invite you to take on some new hats. And I want you to hear me right now. Here, see if you can get this. If you go, I'm a real estate agent, everybody buy that. If you're a real estate agent, we got some other real estate professionals in the room, but you guys buy, I'm a loan professional, I'm a real estate agent, right?
Sure.
Okay. How about the hat of I'm a recruiter or agent attraction? Are you willing to take on that hat? Okay, here's another hat for you to put on. I'm a marketer. That hat will make you a lot of money. I'm a marketer. And then I'm a content creator. And if you'll take on the identity, Levi's like, all right, cool, I'll be a content creator. And that was his differentiation. I'm gonna give you guys an idea. I've told this to a lot of agents and nobody's ever taken me up on it. I think it's brilliant. Maybe one of you will do it. So you create a podcast here in the community, and it's not a podcast about real estate, nothing wrong with that. I'm in Rockland. I would have the Rockland, California Movers and Shakers podcast. That's the essence of it. And so I would interview the movers and shakers in the community. Because a real estate podcast in Rockland, generally speaking, nobody cares. Because they only need an agent every 7 years. If I just bought my house, why am I going to listen to a bunch of real estate content? I'm not. But if I'm living in Rockland, I care about my community, and I'd be interested in getting to know the movers and shakers in the community. So here's the play. I go to the mayor and I say, Mr. and Mrs. Mayor, I don't know who the mayor is, but I'd go to them and I'd say, I got the I Love Rockland podcast. I interview the movers and shakers in the community, and you, Mr. and Mrs. Mayor, you have a message to share with the community, and I'd love to interview you and put that message out to the community. Would you like to be on my podcast? Do you think it's possible you could get a yes out of that?
Yes.
Really good possibility. So now I interview the mayor, Mr. and Mrs. Mayor, and they're going to get a link to the podcast that we co-created. And what might the mayor do with that link? Think about that. The mayor is now promoting my podcast. Think about that. Think about how to get the mayor to endorse you. It's virtually impossible. But in this strategy, you're getting them to endorse you by default. Yeah. Does anybody know the EXP podcast that I'm on?
Yeah.
It's called the Brent Gove podcast. I'm the co-host. You think that's an accident? It's not an accident. I'm creating familiarity with thousands of people by being the co-host of that podcast. So here's the other play. I go to the mom in charge of the Rockland High School crab feed for the baseball team. And I go to the mom and I say, hey, I got the Movers and Shakers I Love Rockland podcast, and I'd love to feature the crab feed on the podcast. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to interview if you're up for it. And then I'm going to give you a link, and then you're going to give the link to all the players and all the parents. And you guys are going to have this link to put all over social media to promote your crab feed, so you guys can blow it out and raise as much money as you can. And so she does that. And so now what are they promoting?
Yeah.
My podcast. Do you see how that's a better play than a real estate specific podcast? And you don't have, it's user generated content. In other words, the interviewer is creating the content. Just out of curiosity, how do you think that's a good idea? If that was you, if you were the host of that podcast, do you think that would help you become more famous in the community? Yes or yes?
Yes.
And we're playing the game of what? So I've shared that idea with a lot of people and everyone goes, oh, that's a good idea. Nothing happens. Maybe one of you will do it.
For the record, I'm actually starting one in January called Military Money and More.
Awesome. Great job. You could do it for Lincoln, Roseville, Rockland, Placer County. You pick it. And it goes bigger than that because you could have the I Love Rockland website, podcast, YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is not like Levi. It's not a real estate play. It's a featuring local people on the YouTube channel. So now they're going to promote the channel because they're on it and they're going to promote your channel. So there's other aspects to this strategy, but it's, if I wanted to be the most famous human being on Rockland, I would be that, but I don't care about that because that's not the game I'm playing. But you guys can play that game. I'm playing a different game. All right. Okay. So a lot of you do open houses. Have you mastered it? If you have, awesome. Okay. If you haven't mastered it, sometimes I'll be on the phone with an agent. We'll talk about the open house and they'll go, yeah, I just did the open house, but I didn't get anybody's contact information that came in. Like, oh man, that sucks. So master the open house. It's not that complicated. One of the ideas I heard at a PCAR meeting, guy was talking about, I think it was the night before, like this exclusive neighborhood open house. So the open house on Saturday, but Friday night, we're going to have some prizes and some wine and some cheese and come on over. It's just only people that can come are people here in the community. I'm like, that's a pretty good idea. Get 2 open houses out of 1. And you get to know all the people there around that house. So I was like, man, that's a smart thing to do. Okay. And then you go and you door knock the community, right, around the place. And then you can gamify, meaning in this context, you're going to do 2 open houses a month or 3 open houses a month or whatever the number is. You create a game for 2023 of how many open houses you're going to do, how often. And then you go to like, who here in the room is good at open houses? Good at open houses. Okay, a lot of you. So if you're not good at open houses, you want to get around people that have their hand up and you want to go take them for coffee. And you want to go, hey, tell me your secrets. How do you do it? Would you be willing to share what you do? And then you model it. You model what they're doing, right? Because if you're going to do this, you might as well maximize the lead opportunity. How many of you like the idea of the exclusive neighborhood night before? You guys like that idea? Take some courage to do it because you got to kind of put yourself out there more so than just a regular open house. You got to actually maybe go knock on some doors and talk to some people, right? But you're in the business of collecting $10,000 bills. So the rewards are pretty big. Rewards are pretty big.
There's got that tattoo somewhere, I think.
Yeah, I'm like. Okay.
That's a cool business to be in. I just drive around and collect $10,000 bills. Okay, next idea. This is a marketing term. So a lead magnet is where you offer something in exchange for their contact information. So as a best practice on your website, there would be like a special report or something free to motivate them. It's a magnet. It's attracting to you. Because if you don't have a lead magnet on your website and they come to your website and they cruise, like it's hard enough to get somebody to actually come to your site, right? So they come to your site, and if you're not getting them to opt in, you would have no way of knowing they came. Unless you're doing a pixel ad thing, or that's a little more advanced. But just what if you have a lead magnet, offer something for free in exchange for their contact information, it automatically goes into your database, and now you can email market to them at 0 cost for life.
Not only that, they self-select and tell you what kind of buyer or seller they are, whether they're a buyer or a seller, just as important as having a database of knowing who's in it. And that which one they select will tell you that.
If you're not familiar with the term lead magnet, or if you don't have one, you want to put that in your notes, like you want to study that. You want to go lift the weights on what is a lead magnet? How does it work? How does email marketing work? Because these are terms that aren't really common real estate terms. They're common marketing terms. But we're in the game of familiarity. So if they land on your website, they opt in, meaning they put their email address in to the box to get the lead magnet. And now you're starting to market to them through email marketing. And then 4 years from now, they contact you and say, hey, I've been getting your emails. I need some help. Boom, $10,000. So lead magnet would be a really good one to build in your plan. And we'll see if I have any more ideas here. Okay, cool. So this will be the last idea I share with you guys. So you're going to find me right here every Thursday. So this is one of my networks that I am here with intention. And so me being here every Thursday, I would invite you, and many of you already do this, but find a network that you can hang out in, right? And you just show up. So just me showing up is a way of creating familiarity. It's a way of building rapport. It's a way of building a relationship. And so if you can find out what's your network where you're gonna plant your flag. This talk I'm doing right here, this is my third EXP talk in the last 30 days. So I was down in Southern California, did this kind of thing, and I was in Vacaville a couple weeks ago. Yes.
Even though this is your speech, and I forgot to, I like to add one thing. How about create meetup meetings in restaurants and golf clubs with several fellow agents and their respective counterparts, such as a once-a-month meetup meeting.
Yeah, you guys could create your own event. And that's something you could do as well. That's a great suggestion. So I want you to think about, is there a place where you can show up and just keep being there and just keep being there, and then all of a sudden this business starts coming to you? All right. So that's my share today, guys. It was great to be with you. I always enjoy the opportunity to get up to the front of the room when I have that opportunity. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Johnny.
Awesome. Round of applause, guys.
Hey, what was the name of the book again, Eric?
Which one?
The Abrams.
93 Extraordinary Referral Systems.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. All right. So with that, everybody, that's all we have for today. We're going to keep it short, keep it easy. This is the last meeting of the year. Again, we'll see you January 5th. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year. Bye all.
Bye.